Salutations everyone, this is What Mattered. Captain Falcon is back for Smash Bros, which can mean only one thing. Show me your moves.
I was kidding, no!
Hardcore punch! Burn! Burn! Hardcore burn! Hardcore burn! Hardcore burn!
The prodigal son has returned. Captain Falcon is back for the fourth Super Smash Bros. Game, along with two other new characters that were announced this week, Lucina and Robin from the Fire Emblem series. We already have Marth and Ike, and those are two fantastic characters that I enjoy very, very much. So it's a welcome addition, two more Fire Emblem characters. I'm sure I'll like them both. Both the male and the female versions of Robin were shown. They're probably just a different skin, but that still has yet to be clarified. But both the male and female versions were shown in the trailer. And, Falcon punches are back, Falcon kicks are back. People can show them as moves. Two new Fire Emblem characters. Just, come on. Jigglypuff, Meta Knight. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Studio Ghibli's first foray into a television series will be beginning this fall in Ronia the Robber's Daughter, based off of the Swedish novel of the same name. And I believe there was a movie adaptation like 20-something years ago. But anyway, it is actually being co-produced by Studio Ghibli. So a lot of people have had their jimmies rustled because it doesn't look like it's Studio Ghibli because it's CGI. And there's another company working alongside Studio Ghibli, co-producing the show. It's going to be directed by Goro Miyazaki, the son of course, the famous Hayao Miyazaki of Studio Ghibli fame. He directed Tales of the Earthsea and From Up on Poppy Hill. So definitely we can look forward to that. If more content from that studio, really the better. All we have right now is like the opening of the show in Japanese, of course, to get the feel of what it looks like. And there's not really much we can tell about the series yet, but definitely something to keep an eye on with such a legendary production company getting into a television show for the first time. So, in case you were living under a rock for this week, you may have noticed that Casey Catanzaro, at 5 feet tall, 100 pounds, became the first woman to ever reach the final round of American Ninja Warrior. And she made it look good. It was absolutely spectacular to watch. You should definitely take a look at her run. She attempted obstacles that no other woman has even been able to attempt before, and she conquered them like it was nothing. Very, very impressive. She's from a gymnast background, so some people might think, oh, maybe that's why she did so well. No, this is a tough course. Granted, the Japanese courses are much, much more difficult, but, the American challenges, in the same vein, many of the same obstacles, and inspired by the show. Casey Catanzaro being the first woman to even attempt some obstacles such as the salmon ladder, and she looks so fantastic out there. The first woman to reach the finals, which will be taking place in Las Vegas in a little bit. It was an absolutely fantastic run. If you haven't watched Ninja Warrior or the American version, I don't know what you've been doing the past 10 years, because it's the greatest, most prestigious, insanely difficult obstacle course known to man. Popularized in Japan, America made their own version, and it's also broadcasted in other countries. G4, of course, popularized the show in the rebroadcasting of the Japanese series, and now it's on the network's television. And Casey Catanzaro, fantastic superstar run, and it was really, really cool. You should check it out.
Talk about Captain America being black! Thor's a girl!
Not gonna do it.
Iron Man's new suit runs iOS!
Okay, so originally I wasn't going to talk about this, but not a lot of things matter this week, and I definitely have a strong opinion on what has happened to the big three Marvel characters this week, with the announcement that Captain America's black, Thor's a girl now, and Iron Man has a new suit, which I don't know why that's a big deal. He gets a new one every year. But anyways, this is all part of the publishing initiative Avengers Now. Iron Man's moving to San Francisco. He's got this new snazzy uniform. He's going to be releasing the extremist program to the public. So that's a thing. And more importantly, the ones that are grabbing all the headlines with announcements on The View. What the fuck? And more, reputably, the Colbert Report, friend of the show. Joe Quesada came on to Steven's show to announce that the replacement for Steve Rogers, who lost his powers after his blood was sucked out of him, still alive, but not Captain America essentially anymore, will be replaced by Sam Wilson. So they're not making Captain America black, they're not making Thor a woman. These headlines are completely run by ignoramuses and people just trying to grab catchy headlines. The thing is, the headline shouldn't be Captain America is now black. It should be Sam Wilson is the next Captain America. I mean, we've had Steve be the captain for a long time, and then he died, and then Bucky was the captain, and then Steve came back, and now he's lost his powers, and now Sam is Captain America, who, as you all know, is his longtime partner, the Falcon. So, I mean, that change makes sense. The Thor change, however, makes a lot less sense from a viewer's standpoint. They're saying that Thor loses the ability to wield Mjolnir. He's no longer worthy. That's all fine and dandy. And now some woman who already exists within the Thor storyline that fans know, will now be wielding Mjolnir and become Thor like it's a title or a mantle. Thor, Odin's son, is the dude's actual name. He's based off of a Norse god named Thor, not a goddess. So now they're kind of just changing everything just, to pander to some audience that The View has for some reason. It's just change for the sake of change, really. If you want my full thoughts on these types of changes within the comic universe, click this link right here on the screen, or I will leave it in the description, a full video that I released earlier today. All my thoughts about the Captain America and the Thor changes, as well as all of the other gender, racial, sexual orientation changes that comic book writers make to our beloved characters. And I'll leave that for you guys to watch. It's more interesting than anything I'm going to mention in this video, but it is a bit of a long and it does kind of get ranty. But anyways, it's not a big fan of these changes. To make a good comic book, you need to freshen things up, but there are right ways to do it and there are wrong ways to do it. And you can't just put out some fake diversity progressiveness to get your message across. It's really it feels fake and not genuine. Anyways, thank you all for watching. This has been What Mattered. One of these comes out every single Saturday, so if that sounds something cool to you, you can hit the sub button or the other buttons. It's all up to you. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.